So let's talk about the turbulent test case, okay, in the similar lines. So let's go toward the runs folder. In the runs folder, I kept couple of few folders, okay. So we quickly try to look at couple of these folders and try to get a feeling different setting that is sometime we required when we are working with the turbulent case, turbulent type of the flow with the runs modeling, okay. So let's go towards this first folder where we have a k omega with wall functions, okay. So let's go to this particular directory, okay. Let me clean the area. Okay, so this is our readme file, okay. So this is again wall functions we activated, okay. So let's first quickly clean the case, okay. Block mesh, paraform, check the domain and everything. So this is again the flow over circular cylinder only, but we are working with the k omega type of the model. So as I told you previously, when we are working the k omega type of the model, certain type of the boundary conditions is available, okay. So let's look at the incoming velocity is 1 meter per second, okay, and rest are the same condition, but important is the k. So inlet we specify the k value, okay, itself, and on the walls, that is the cylinder wall, we apply the kqr wall functions, okay. This value we can calculate based on the excel file whatever I provided, okay, and based on that you can fix and keep it here. In the similar line omega, we have a inlet outlet. So look, inlet outlet, that means generically it is a outflow conditions. So if it is going out, then it apply the gradient condition, but when there is a reverse flow, it will take a omega reverse for a reverse flow 0.075, okay. And on the cylinder we have a omega wall function we applied, okay. So along with that we have a nu t. For nu t, inlet outlet is calculated, that is based on the internal field, and on the cylinder we applying the nu t u Spalding wall functions, okay. So certain wall functions, different type of wall functions available, okay. Based on your requirement you can choose the wall functions, okay. So this is few things one has to set in this at the boundary conditions when we are talking about the runs calculations. Then let's go towards properties, okay. So if we look at the property, we selected runs and k omega SST model here, okay. And transport property, here we going to work for a large RE. So I am asking you to run for R equal to 10,000, okay. So let's set the property appropriately. So 1e minus 4 1, okay. So let's run for R equal to 10,000, okay. So we exactly know for what RE we are running, that is better, okay. Then let's go towards the system folders, okay. Here we have a same entries available, okay. So algorithm, okay, relaxation parameters, okay, outer corrector, okay, inner correctors, orthogonal corrections, everything is available. Schemes, we are moving from backward to Crank-Nicolson's, okay. And in the Crank-Nicolson, if you require pure Crank-Nicolson, then put it 1, but right now it is in between Crank-Nicolson and Eulerian. If Crank-Nicolson equal to 0, then it work as a Euler scheme. Crank-Nicolson equal to, here if you this value equal to 1, then it work as a pure Crank-Nicolson. Right now it is a halfway in between, okay. All other entries is more or less same, okay. This wall distance, okay. So sometime in for turbulent modeling we have to calculate the we require the wall distance calculations, okay. What is wall distance? First cell height, okay. So first cell height, it is whatever the cell that is near to any of the solid object, what is the cell center height from the face center height, it is called first cell height, okay. So that is what we required, and we have to calculate with the help of the different methods. So this is mesh wave method, Poisson's equation method, and couple of methods is available, okay. With the help of that one can calculate this wall distance. So this is one entry extra you can see here. Then solution is same Okay, control dict, we are not using runtime adjustable because we are going with the runs calculation. If it is giving us the trouble in let's say, okay, yeah, sorry, till we have this adjustable time step enable. Okay, so no problem, and we go with the low current number, you can see here. Okay, because our now RE is very high. Okay, so we have to fix the current number appropriately. Okay, so let's simulate this case and get a feeling how it's working. Before that, we can go with the renumbering calculations. So there is a different way you can do the renumbering, but best and simple way is just type renumbering. Okay, and no overwrite. Okay, so it immediately overwrites the case. So let's look at this is what we have, but till now we didn't refine the mesh. Okay, so please understand that way. So even though RE is very high and we didn't change the mesh, the reason is that right now we are working with the runs type of calculations. Okay, if you are working with the DNS class of the calculation, we require very fine mesh. Okay, so sometime before you go for a huge number of simulations, okay, one has to look at the grid independency in considerations. Okay, so normally you start with the coarse mesh, then refine the mesh and try to plot the result for a particular location and try to compare as you refine the mesh how the simulation is changing. Based on that, you judge the particular mesh size and then fix that mesh size. Okay, and on that mesh size go with a large number of calculations. Okay, so that is normal approach people look at when they are working with the turbulent, not only turbulent, any class of simulation. One always have to do the grid dependency test. Okay, that is, I say it is mandatory. If you are hoping for some publications or for your PhD thesis or anything, then it is the best approach, I say. Okay, so let's start the simulations. Okay, so we did the renumbering. Okay, and now few more things I kept here. Okay, so let's say we didn't refine the mesh, but we want finer let's say element near the cylinder. So there is a refine wall, one class of utility available. Okay, and it allow you to refine the mesh near the cylinder wall. Okay, so that when we talk about the different type of the utility at that time we discuss, but I just give you the idea by keeping this one line here. Okay, so let's run this one case, so and get a feeling how it's running. So okay, I forgot to switch off the averaging part from control dict. So when you start running, please switch off this portion first if it is activated. Okay, and then later on you can switch on that portion. That is, I say it is the best way to look at. Okay, so this is again switch off. Okay, so there is no meaning that in starting the averaging from the beginning. Why? Because we always have some developing flow, and after the flow is developed, one has to start the averaging. Okay, so when you want to do the averaging, you try to observe either probe or something and get a feeling that either the flow is developed or not. When the flow becomes fully developed, after that you start the averaging and you going to get a pretty good result. But by mistake you started the averaging from the beginning, then even though you go for very large number of large time step averaging, then also you're not going to get appropriate averaging data. Okay, so that is the not a good way to start the averaging. If you want to start the averaging, look at the probe. When the probe become mature, after that only you start the averaging. Okay, before that don't do that. So let's check how the simulation is going. So our delta t is fixed, something like 0.9. Okay, so with that sorry, quantum number is fixed 0.9, and with that delta t happen to be 0.021 something. Okay, so let's check the paraform. So it's going to progress slowly. So I suggest try to run this case. Okay, and later on you have to start averaging. So start the average and try to look at the mean part. Okay, so few things you can do with this one particular test case. So I'm stopping this case, but few things we want to compare between this case and the next case. Okay, so next case, if you see, it is without wall function. So name suggests without wall function, that means in the k and omega, okay, we are not specifying any class of wall functions. So let me compare. In the first case, okay, we have a wall functions, okay, like this way, right? But in this case we are giving the absolute value. Okay, so we are specifying on the cylinder absolute value of the k as well as absolute value of the omega. Okay, so if you don't want to apply any wall functions, okay, then you have to specify absolute value, and this value is very supposed to be very tiny. Okay, so that is how this case one can run without wall functions. So if you want to work with without wall function, in that case your mesh supposed to be pretty fine. That means your y plus value, okay, it's supposed to be something like 1 or so. Okay, so that is how one can check exactly that you are able to capture the viscous sublayer very nicely. Now how to fix this y plus? Sometimes it is a very big question. So how to fix this y plus? Okay, so how to fix this y plus? The answer for that we have to go towards the one of the web page. Okay, and I will show you exactly how you can fix the y plus. So when you type the y plus calculator, okay, so in any of the Google or anywhere, okay, you will see the couple of entry. Okay, so we have a this CFD online provide you the very nice y plus calculator. Okay, so go with that y plus, but please remember this y plus calculator is based on the flow over a flat plate. Okay, so normally what we have to specify, the free stream velocity, density, dynamic viscosity, okay, and boundary layer length. That means, let's say right now we are working flow over a circular cylinder, so what is the characteristic length and what y plus value you are hoping. Okay, let's say we want to fix y plus equal to 30, then keep the 30 and estimate the wall distance. So with that, based on this, it give you the exactly the RE. Okay, so right now our RE is something like RE 10 to the power minus 10 to the power 4. So this is supposed to be 1 and this is 1e minus 4. Okay, so we have it exactly the same RE, and for this RE, if we want y plus equal to 30, then this is the first cell height. Okay, but we want the RE equal to 1. Okay, sorry, y plus equal to 1, or normally it's supposed to be 0.1 when we want to go with a without wall function type of the treatment. So in that case, your first cell height is supposed to be this. What is the first cell height? Let me show you from the para view. Okay, so let's go to the para view. So what is the first cell height? First cell height is nothing but this one. This is your first cell height. Okay, so what's supposed to be the first cell height? Okay, near all the solid wall. So this first cell height is, if you are working with any of the standard wall treatment, then this first cell height supposed to be more than 30. If you are working with the low RE type of calculation, then first cell height is reasonably something like y plus equal to 1. Okay, you are going towards the DNS, then keep this first cell height something like below 1, 0.1 or something, 0.5. If you are working with the LES, then also this first cell height supposed to be below 1. If you are working without any, you are working with RANS, but you don't want to specify any wall treatment near the wall, then also keep the this wall first cell height approximately equal to 1. So how it going to work? You fix the first cell height from here. Okay, for this first cell height, what's supposed to be the this wall distance? So this wall distance you have to specify in the grid generation. Okay, so in the grid generation we have to specify this particular wall distance. How it going to work? Let's say we want to develop the mesh in the block mesh. Okay, so let's quickly show you how you can do that. So in the block mesh, we require the near wall spacing. Okay, and number of, so length of that particular edge, number of cell, let's say 30, and we required start cell distance. Okay, so this start cell distance you can calculate from here, okay, and plug it here. For this and that many cell, what's supposed to be the expansion ratio? So this expansion ratio you have to set. Where you supposed to set this expansion ratio? You have to set this expansion ratio in the block mesh file. So this expansion ratio, okay, let me yeah, that is fine, but this expansion ratio, this is mesh refinement, this is all that expansion ratios. Okay, so this expansion ratio you have to set in the block mesh file appropriately, so that this first cell height is happen to be 10 to the power whatever you require, 1.4 10 to the power minus 3. So you got it. How you able to fix the y plus? What is the free stream velocity from which you calculate your Reynolds number, and that is the length scale through which you calculate your length scale. Okay, sorry, Reynolds number. And density, in our case mu by rho is the kinetic viscosity, so we say density 1, so dynamic and kinetic viscosity almost same. And this value we set where? This value we set in the transport property file. Okay, so in the transport property we set this value. Okay, and we fix the density equal to 1. Okay, so that's why it is the same RA, you can see. So with that free stream velocity, this free stream velocity where we fix free stream velocity, you fix in the U file. This is your free stream velocity. Okay, so from here you find the free stream velocity, density, viscosity, boundary length is the diameter of in this case it is diameter. Okay, if it is a internal flow, then the inlet portion through which the flow is entering. If it is, let's say, flow or aerofoil, then the chord length of aerofoil. Okay, flow over a boundary layer, flat plate boundary layer, the entire length of the your flat plate. This all come as a length scale. Okay, and this is the desired y plus. Then you calculate it. Reynolds number, you have to make sure this Reynolds number and you are giving the Reynolds number supposed to be same. Not then you have to tune this certain parameter, and with the help of that you get this first cell height. Use this first cell height in your mesh generator, give the appropriate things, and find out what is supposed to be the expansion ratio. With that expansion ratio, go towards mesh generation and fix that expansion ratio at appropriate locations. Okay, so that you will get the first cell height 1.4 10 to the power minus 3. When you give this first cell height minus 3, then also it is not necessary that at all location you get a y plus below or equal to 1. Why? Because whatever this calculation you are getting, it is the first hand calculation, and all this this value is coming for a flow or a flat plate, but we are applying same concept on a circular cylinder. So there is always error available. Okay, so sometime whatever you get here, try to give even lesser number of smaller size of this particular value if you are going towards the without wall treatment or low Reynolds number. But if you are want to give a 30 as a wall treatment, so whatever you're going to get, you give little bit larger value, so you make sure that in near the all the solid wall everywhere it's y plus values more than 30. Okay, so this is the idea behind that. So this is few things please try to take into account while you are working with the turbulent flows. Okay, so with this you able to simulate without this wall treatment. Okay, so I suggest try to look at both this case and try to simulate based on your available time. Okay, then I kept few more test cases. Okay, so you just follow all these things. Okay, and try to simulate the test case and have a feeling how it's progressing. Either it diverging, converging. If it diverging, they make it work by tuning the inner corrector, outer corrector, changing the relaxation parameter. Okay, all this exercise you try to do with the help of this case. But this Ahmad body, it is the external aerodynamic type of the test case. So let's explore this. Okay, so let's go to that particular test case. Okay, so that test case is about flow over a Ahmad body. Ahmad body is a well proven test case in the external aerodynamic area. Okay, So this is a very nice test case. So let's look at, but here we are developing the mesh with the help of the snappyhacks. Okay, but I am not going to discuss right now all this command, because when we talk about the snappyhacks in the advanced module, you come to know about all this command. But right now you use this command like a black box, and you with the help of execution this command, you're going to get a fine mesh. Okay, so that is the I can say this is the use of this few commands. Okay, so let's first go to that particular area. Okay, so here we are, and let's clean the case. So this is about the geometrical configuration. So we are taking the STL file, then we are scaling and transforming the test case. Okay, then we are extracting some features for creating the nice mesh, then we are converting that feature into some particular files. Okay, and then first we go with the block mesh. Okay, and after the block mesh we have to start the snappyhacks. So snappyhacks is a very powerful mesh generator, so you come to know after it's finished its task. So it may take 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, depending on your computer configuration. Maybe on my computer it's going to take something like minimum 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so before meanwhile we try to explore certain few things in the test case. Okay, so let's check about few things. So we are working with the runs calculation. K omega is the models. Okay, and we require the transport property. Okay, so we specify the transport property appropriately. Then we have a few entries at a here. Okay, few this more file you see, that is because of the snappyhacks mesh. Okay, so that entry we're not going to discuss right now. So pimple is the algorithm. Okay, and few more functions. Here we want to calculate the forces on Ahmed is the its total wall. Okay, on that we try to calculate all the CD and CL values. Okay, so for that we require this patch. And schemes, Eulerian schemes we are using. Okay, then solutions wise we are working with the right now piezo. Okay, so n character, if you say n character equal to 1 is exactly work as a piezo. Okay, outer character, n outer character equal to 1 is like a piezo, but we want to work with the pimple, then set it equal to 2 minimum. Okay, non-orthogonal correction we kept. And if you don't want to specify any relaxation, just comment it, then it don't apply any relaxation parameter. Okay, so if it's not going to work, then we go towards tuning this certain parameter and make it work. So that is the idea. Okay, so this is about this system folder. Go to the zeroth folder. Okay, and in the zero folder you will see all these files. Okay, so let's open these few files from here. Okay, we are giving the incoming velocity 33.33. okay, so try to find out what's supposed to be the RE for this particular test case. Then at the outlet we specifying the inlet outlet type of conditions. Okay, ground, okay, side, top, and this is the exactly the test case model. Okay, so when mesh is generated, I will exactly give you the idea how exactly it's look like. Okay, then we are working with the wall treatment. Okay, so this is few things one has to explore from this particular few files. Okay, along with that you will see certain few more files. Okay, so that is when we run a few more commands, this all different files is appear in this particular test case. Okay, so it's still working, so let it finish, then we further talk. Maybe it will take something like 5 to 10 seconds. Okay, so let's discuss few things while it is while it is creating the mesh. So this snappyhacks is a very powerful tool. Okay, right now we are working with the serial version of snappyhacks, but you can run the snappyhacks in parallel as well. Okay, and with the help of this snappyhacks we're going to create a cut cell type of the mesh. Okay, so where the one-to-one connectivity of all the vertex is not necessary. Okay, so it is a very powerful mesh generator, and with the help of SnappyHex, within the very small number of element we can capture all the geometrical configuration very nicely. Okay, so that is what I can say. SnappyHex is a very powerful, and it is free, so we need not to worry about all other part of it. Okay, so this is how one can create the mesh. Okay. So mesh is created. Okay, so let's check first how the mesh is look like in Paraform. So let's go towards wireframe. So this is how mesh is look like. Okay, so this is the Ahmed body. Okay, so this is the Ahmed body. So let's switch off all internal part. Let's look at inlet, outlet, and Ahmed body. So this is how one can see patch name. Sorry, keep it like this way. So this is inlet through which the flow is entering, approaching the obstacle, pass through the obstacle. So this is external aerodynamic type of the case, and here it's going out of this domain. Then we have a ground. So on this our object is resting. Okay, so this is the ground, and then we have a sides. So this sides and the top. Okay, so this sides is behave as a symmetric group. So let's look at this. Okay, so all this are behave as a symmetric conditions. Okay, so this is what we are specifying. And if you look at the mesh, okay, let me give you the idea. So look at the mesh here. This is all hanging type of the nodes. Okay, so it is called cut cell type of the mesh. It's not necessary the each vertex is attached very nicely with one-to-one, not required. Okay, okay, let's go towards internal mesh and have a feeling about. Okay, first let's wireframe, and we cut the plane. Okay, so we have to cut in the y direction at a mid plane. If you cut it, switch off this. So this is our obstacle. Over that, if you see, very nice boundary layer is visible. For that it is called triangulated, because when we cut it, look at the triangulated type of the slice. If you switch off, it exactly give you the idea. So near all the solid walls we specified the very nice boundary layers. Okay, so this what's supposed to be the size of this first cell height, it come from this particular calculator. Okay, based on your y plus requirement you can tune this size. Okay, you can set that size in the mesh generator. Okay, so this is how the mesh is look like. Let me cut X view. I exactly don't know what's supposed to be the place, so that we can cut very nicely through the Ahmed body. So for that, let's check the mesh size, geometrical dimension. Okay, so if we cut exactly x equal to minus 0.5, it's going to cut our domain. Okay, so that is what I want to see. So let's keep it to minus 0.5. Okay, so it's going to cut the case. Look, we have a very nice redeveloped boundary layer. Okay, so this is how one can check how the mesh is look like and everything. Okay, so let's create one more slice with the y mid. That switch off the triangulate. Okay, so this is how exactly the mesh is look like, okay, for entire domain. Okay. So now we try to simulate it. Okay, so inflow is approaching this obstacle going from here to that side. Okay. Check mesh give you the idea about number of cells and its if mesh is appropriate or not. Okay, so mesh check is okay, that means whatever the mesh created by SnappyX is a very good mesh. Hexahedral element, we have a 862k prism, number of prism, we have a number of pyramid. Okay, so in total something like 900k approximately size we have, so we are almost approaching the 1 million cell. Okay, so to simulate it, maybe we go towards the parallel computing, or we require very nice machine, but over this laptop, if you have 8 GB of RAM size laptop or desktop, it at least run. Okay, there is I say it not going to stop. Okay. There is no problem with that. Okay, so let's go towards few more thing. Renumbering. Now here renumbering is very important. Okay, so you come to know how much reduction in the bandwidth we going to observe. Okay, look, previously it is something like 910k, now it is something like 68k, so we reduce a lot, and that will give us faster convergence to our linear solver. Okay, so that is a good idea. Let's start the simulation with our regular command. Okay, so let me check either it's working fine or not. Okay, so we not going to simulate it completely right now, because it may take something like 7 to 10 hours also. Okay, but I am just checking either it's working properly or not. Okay, let's finish 1 or 2 iterations. So look, if you look at the entire calculation, this is the first pimple loop or pimple outer corrector. For that, first we go towards the predictor step, where we are calculating the star velocity. With the help of that, we going towards the corrector step and doing the multiple corrector, that is n corrector. Okay, we apply that, then again we go towards the outer corrector, because we specify 2 outer corrector. Okay, and for another time we go towards the calculation of pseudo or the intermediate velocity, and then again we go towards the pressure equation solutions and finish the pressure equation. Then we go towards the calculation of k and omega equations after the final corrections in the pressure and velocity, and then we go towards the next calculations. Okay, so like that way one can check the entire simulation. So it may take longer time, but we going to use this data for going towards the detailed post processing when we explore the Paraform as a utility. Okay, so I suggest you also run this case completely. Okay, I suggest you run this case by 2 setting. One is with the this pimple form setting, and another with the simple form setting. Okay, so because we anyway at the finally we want to look at the time averaged flow field over this particular blub body or the Ahmed body. Okay, so you run this case with the simple type of the algorithm. Okay, so add up the simple form any of the test case, put it this entire the mesh configuration in it. Okay, and then modify the test case and run for the simple algorithm. Don't change any other setting. You have to change the setting in only 2 places. Okay, sorry, in the 1 places, that is here, system folder, control dict file, fvscheme and fvsolution. These 3 files you have to change such a way that you can able to run the case with the help of the simple algorithm. Okay, so please do that and try to do the post processing. Okay, but I will give you the idea when we talk about Paraform and how to do the post processing for this particular test case. Okay, so what we cover here, we try to explore very quickly what is the piezo form. Okay, and with the help of the piezo form, one can calculate a different class of physics like laminar to LES to runs to LES. Okay, but we didn't discuss about the LES, that we cover in the advanced module. But right now we discuss only runs and laminar part. When we talk about the laminar, you have a chance to go towards the direct numerical simulations. Okay, by specifying very fine mesh and going towards the very accurate schemes. Okay, and go with the very low Coron number type of calculation if you are going towards turbulent type of the simulation with the help of the Pimple algorithm, and for a transient turbulent calculations. Okay, and with the help of that you able to get a very nice time average flow field, and you may able to compare with the open literature as well. Okay, so I suggest please go through this entire test cases and try to simulate each one of them, even though I didn't simulate couple of the things. Okay, like all these test cases you have to simulate by your own way and do the detailed post processing. If it is not working, let me know. Okay, we try to fix it, but I think it's all the cases supposed to work very nicely. Okay.